Vote, are we good? All set? Awesome, thank you. I would like to call this meeting to order at 6:30. Roll call, Tony Raposo.
Yeah.
Lisa Castelli,
Yeah.
Hillary Lima,
Here.
Michael Sakosha.
Here.
James LeBlanc, here. Review of emergency evacuation plan. Head out the back doors, take a left into the parking lot. Item 4, approval of minutes, August 10th, 2022 meeting. Did anybody have any amendments, any changes to the meeting minutes?
None from me. I'll make a motion to approve.
That's second.
Have a motion, have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item number 6, new business. Item number 5, there is an item that says number 5. It says sewer tie-in applications, but there were none. Item number 6, new business. 6A, wastewater facilities plan update, discussion, action, and or vote. Mr. Marchant, is that you?
Yes, this is just to keep the sewer subcommittee apprised of the progress that Fuss and O'Neill is making. They've been preparing and working with staff to have a sewer survey that addresses sewer and septic needs that will go out to about 9,000 residents on the eastern portion of the town to just gauge a level of awareness, concern, interest in the various issues pertaining to sewers and septics and wastewater management. That should be going out in the next couple of weeks. And we're hoping to have the results in by the first week of October, and in preparation for a community open house, public engagement later in the month of October. And everything else has been going pretty smoothly. We've been gathering a lot of data, getting the GIS shape files, getting counts, getting information from Kent County Water Authority about their flows, and putting together all the detail and data we need to build this study.
Okay, great, thanks. Does anybody have any questions? I do. Will we be able to see a draft of what's going out to the 9,000 homes?
Yeah, we have a mock-up. We can send it to the sewer subcommittee.
Okay, would you guys be interested in seeing it?
Yes.
Okay. If you could do that, I appreciate it. And then if anybody has any feedback, just let Mr. Marchant know. All right. Item 6B, update on sewer financials FY21, FY22, discussion, action, and or vote. Mr. Marchant, are you talking about the financials?
Yes. So in your packet, I prepared a budget outline showing, I put it together myself, but I will say that for fiscal year 20 and 21, those were taken from the audited financial statements. FY21, it's the draft financial statements, and we have the fiscal year 22 budget. I don't have any actuals, so I'm hoping to be able to report on that next month. But I was able to carry forward the operations as we anticipate them into FY23, and the things to note is that the FY20 had a surplus, but in FY21, we anticipate a sizable deficit due to some reclassifications. The sewer fund had been tracking it on a cash basis, and the auditor said that that was not appropriate. And so we've had to adjust things for accrual. And that is largely the reason for that change in the deficit. 22, we're projecting a year-end deficit of 373,000, and in 23 the deficit's going up. We have the 2018 RIB bond payment that's an additional 440,000 that we didn't have last year. That's a big portion of that increase in expenses. These were anticipated, and I believe the town received recommendations in 2019 to begin increasing sewer rates in 2020, 21, 22, that there would be a regular steady schedule of increases, but that was never done. So we're going to be meeting with the consultant and developing a recommendation for a sewer rate increase in 23 so that we can begin to balance this sheet going forward.
And when would that rate have to be approved by to actually agree to when the mailings have to go out?
I saw something that has to be approved by the beginning of April, by April 1, in order to go in the bills for September 1. But I'm not sure if that's ordinance or if that where I saw that there are a couple of conflicting pieces of information I came across. So, but we are aiming for that date at least, if that's what we have to announce it by, or if the sewer subcommittee has to make a recommendation to the council and the council has to propose something. That's what we're shooting for.
Okay. So April 1st of 2020.
At the latest, yes.
Okay. But no increases can occur till then, at least.
Well, we've already sent out the sewer bills for this year, so we're not going to send out a second set of bills unless there's a compelling need to do it earlier.
Just for anybody listening, I just didn't want them thinking it would be possible this year. That's all.
We don't expect it to be.
Okay.
Right?
Great.
And I also included a copy of the FY21 financial statements draft for your reference.
Does anybody on the board have any questions? Hearing none.
I do.
Okay.
Is it appropriate to assume that is Fuss and O'Neill looking at this too and telling us like a corrective action plan to decrease our?
Yes, that'll be part of the full scope. They're actually partnered with Reftalis, which did the financial portion of the analysis in 2019, and they're with Fuss and O'Neill to do it again.
Okay.
So we'll get an update.
All right. Thanks.
And then Fuss and O'Neill's expense is not in your projection for FY23, correct? Or is it?
Not explicitly, no.
Okay.
It would be part of our operating expenses, and we would put it in under the admin expenses or under contracted services. It's not called out per se as budgeted, but that would also be a good reason to consider the SRF 1% loan.
Agreed. All right, great. Any other questions from anybody? No? All right. Thank you, Mr. Marshall. 6C, East Greenwich sewer connection, discussion, action, or vote.
All right. In your packet, you have a proposal, and Mr. Landry is here to speak to that. And you should also have some comments from our town engineer, Mr. Levesque.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Bill Landry, I'm the attorney for Division Road neighborhood, developer of a approximately 82 acre. The other in East Greenwich, the other side of 95, obviously is just north of New London Turnpike and then Cedar Ridge development that was built 15 years or so ago. They have a sewer line. Facility. Something similar to that through the top. Treated by cotton. They ended up at the west region. The large project in place of approximately 410 units. A variety of different types. The site is actually called out in the comprehensive plan for a high density development that includes affordable housing at densities of up to 20 units per acre, and we're much less than that, about 6 units per acre. Proceeding for the town at the master plan stage of review. And we had some preliminary discussions on this issue many months ago with some representatives of the town here and during COVID. This room actually and unit count. The anticipated flow rate is about 150,000 gallons per day. And then we found sewer ordinance. It includes a fee structure, both that structure and a usage structure for developments that pass through the town of Coventry. Assessments for real property located outside of the town boundaries, requesting connection to the system or public sewer line by an expense of outside private party. So we would obviously be financing the construction of this sewer line, available properties along the sewer line that are currently not served. The materials we submitted included 3 different options that our engineers and Creed Engineering put together for most of the different, all of the differences in those 3 options were where we would cross 90. It all ends up at an existing sewer connection point on the south side of the London Turnpike. The system from there. Nicole Riley from the Creed is here tonight if there are any technical questions. But obviously, we're not here seeking approval tonight of a connection. We're at the concept level of review, East Greenwich, and what we are hoping to present is the equivalent of a will serve type letter that capacity is there and that the committee or the town is interested in servicing the development subject to definitive agreement, plus the price, engineering, accommodation, and all the usual things. We would work out. I think the thing that we're required to present over in East Greenwich is that there isn't some showstopper issue that the town of Coventry would refuse to provide this service subject to all of the ordinary conditions. Key structure, I didn't really expect to see something of that detail that actually went into this type of connection that doesn't involve property within the town. And it simply involves a pipe that's passing through that's created at somebody else's expense. But there is a fee structure that is provided for in the ordinance. Not sure what else I could tell you. Hope that the town's business, located with technical issues at one level. Meeting we had here a year or so ago didn't seem to indicate any showstopper, but obviously a great interest in seeing more technical. Thank you. More technical detail when it comes to an actual approval for a connection as opposed to a will serve type letter.
Does the board have any questions?
Joe, if you review the capacity of the line on the capacity of the line on the one template.
So that was one of my recommendations in my write-up. I'd like to see an engineering analysis done of that existing 15-inch gravity main that runs up New England Turnpike, just to see where we're going to be with capacity with this full build-out flow of 150,000 gallons a day. Also, I'd like to see if we're going to have any additional capacity to serve the center of New England, if there's ever any additional connections at that New London Turnpike main. So I would ask that the owner have that done before we make a final decision on whether it's feasible or not.
What is the capacity of that line now? Do we know?
I don't.
Yeah, do we have any idea with how much of that line being used at the moment?
No.
My question's kind of similar along those lines. I think it would be great if at our next meeting, we could get at least a status or report too of what our capacity is at West Warwick. I think that is also something as a town, I think we should probably have a status of that. It's probably been similar to what Mike's asking for, but because I know that came up as a topic of discussion even at the council meeting Monday. So might be good to know where we stand there. I don't know when the last time this group probably discussed that or has those numbers firm in hand.
Well, the other thing too to consider, I think, is the capacity not only for the town of Coventry, but it's going to flow into West Warwick on New London Turnpike at some point. So, you know, all of that's going to be kind of become a factor.
Yeah, this whole area, there's 4 or 5 towns that are kind of almost intersecting here. So it's a lot to consider.
Mr. Marshall, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Fuss and O'Neill's report will actually call out how much capacity. I know not for the specific line, but how much the town still has. I could be.
What was that 18%?
Yeah. Since I've been here and talking with Weston and Sampson and Fuss and O'Neill will also be looking at it, but we've been using 18% of our 22.5% capacity of the West Warwick treatment plant.
I guess another question I would have, I guess, is does the town of East Greenwich have any capacity at the West Warwick sewer treatment plant since it also abuts the town of West Warwick?
I don't know what their capacity is and what their agreement is with West Warwick. I think with this development, the issue is connectivity, and they're closer to our line than what else might be going from East Greenwich to West Warwick.
Right. And we're getting a pass through.
Yeah.
Basically, right.
So based on these rough numbers I have, the capacity would go from 18% to roughly 25% with the 150,000 gallons per day added.
No.
We have 2.25 million gallons per day that we're allowed.
So,
And they're saying that we currently have.
of our 25%, we go to 25% of our 25%.
I think it's a little easier when you talk about the actual capacity. So we have 2.25 million gallons, right? And I think Joe had said we're at 18%, but if we agreed to this, it would jump to 25% of the 2.25 million gallons.
Gone from 3.
So
We're roughly
Yeah.
at 100.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's.
405.
I just feel like that's an easier way of kind of conceptualizing it. And then my only other question is, have we calculated what this fee potentially is going to be for this project?
That hasn't been.
Who's going to be doing that, Mr. Marchant? Because I'm assuming it would probably be someone from Coventry kind of proposing what the fee is going to be, I would think.
Well, it's dependent on the flows that they're reporting to us. So we can take the data they gave us and apply the ordinance. And, I think they've looked at that as well. If you've already done that, then you have an idea, but we would also calculate the fee to make sure we agree. But at this point, it's preliminary and we weren't actually calculating things to move forward yet.
Got it.
And sir, correct me if I'm wrong. This is that 150,000 gallons per day is based on the full build out, which is going to be over the course of 8 years or, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
So yeah, we wouldn't be at that 25% capacity
right.
for quite some time.
Correct.
Yeah. But as we saw in our financial statements, we can use the funds, additional funds. So does anybody else have any questions?
Will the work of all the road work on, is it going down Division Road, the new sewer?
Go down.
Yeah, no, we would, yes. Well, no, it comes out the back, it comes out along 95. We'd need a DOT approval for that, and then also to cross the highway. But not, we wouldn't be opening Division Road for this. All of the alternatives have the line going across our own property and then straddling 95 to one of 3 points where it would go across. One of those is a few feet away from where that Cedar Ridge development has a line going across.
Okay. Because I know our ordinance shows that it, I don't know if we'd waive it, but that shows that any work done on town roads, we have a contractor that brings the sewer to you. So don't know
I
if
see
that
what
would
you mean.
happen under circumstances.
So really, the only town road here would be the New London Turnpike, that one area where that manhole is. Everything else is state property.
Well, that one manhole is in West Greenwich, put into the map, yeah. Is it not?
It is.
So that wouldn't apply.
Yeah.
Good.
Mr. Landry, your clients, if they have to, if the line needs to be increased, they're willing to absorb that expense and that cost.
To finance the construction?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's built into the budget of the project based on, and I wish I could remember them off the top of my head. I thought the town's ordinance was attached, but there is a gallon per day charge, betterment and use. It's a little less than what you'd pay in town, where where it wasn't a pass through. But no, we budgeted it. We've got an estimate from Dupree as to what that cost would be. And like the town manager said, it's really a calculator exercise to just multiply that by the number of gallons. And, the construction would be guaranteed. If the town has a policy where they will bring the sewer line to us, or at least over a portion of it, that's fine too. But
Any final questions? Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
thank you very much. Good night.
So
Thank you.
are you looking for a letter from us?
Yeah, what we would hope to have would be a letter that the town is willing to provide the service, subject to engineering review as to capacity, finalization of the price, agreements on inspections, and if a more formal definitive agreement as to how it would work. We're going through the same thing with the water department, Kent County Water, and we got a 1-paragraph letter saying we've got the capacity within the system and will provide this service provided we enter into a definitive agreement. That's really our only obligation at this point in the town of East Greenwich. So it would be something that's conditional, and it indicates that Coventry is open to this, and the parties are working toward it, subject to engineering and other things, and the fee structure being worked out. That's what we would hope to secure in the near future, if you would consider
Thank
that.
you. So, Mr. Martian, the way I would think that would work, maybe on the sewer subcommittee's next agenda, we could discuss a recommendation for this project that would then go to the town council, and the town council would approve, and then a letter would be issued.
We can do that.
Perfect.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Agenda item 7, public subcommittee member comment. Anybody from the public want to make a comment?
Thought we were going to discuss the hearing. Was that not on the agenda?
was not.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to,
Sorry, name and address, please.
Lisa Narcoitz, 21 Beach Street.
Thank you.
I just wanted to thank the sewer subcommittee for your hard work in presenting the first draft of the new sewer ordinance the other night at the town council. I know you guys put a lot of work into it, and certain members of the town who are desiring of sewers want to thank you for your hard work. And also mention the absolute public disdain of certain members of the town council towards the sewer ordinance. It's absolutely astounding, embarrassing to sit and listen to certain members of the town council who obviously have no interest in sewers. And so, you know, I applaud you folks for sticking your necks out and coming public with your version of the new sewer ordinance in spite of what other members of the town council think about it. So, thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Thank you. Any member comment? Hearing none. I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned at 6:56 PM.